Welcome back to the next one. Um, so yeah, the Windows client is installed. So now before I go in here, let me install my virtual machine VMware tools. For you, it is going to be if you're using VirtualBox, it is VirtualBox Extension Manager extension pack, which we have to install it. It should have autoplate. Right, next, typical install. It's going to take not much time for me to install it, and then you can see the difference here with my tools coming back. Right, let me finish it. I don't want to restart it now later. So let's go here, command prompt, check. Again, we don't have any options here. CPL is the run command for you. Right, the other thing which I wanted to do here is do SDC line. So I'm just naming it so that I know every time I'm going to work on which adapter, which network I'm going to work on. So here, let's go to this diagram. It's a DHCP. We haven't configured the DHCP server. So here, temporarily, I'm given IP address maybe 1.10 as IP address, which I need to get. So let's go here to say 255.255.255.0, but here I have to give a default gateway, which is 168.1.1, which is my server. So this is my server, and this server has 1.1 here. So I'm giving this as a default gateway. So any packet which has to go outside the network, it needs to go to 1.1 to work on it, to pass the network. And the preferred DNS server would be my server again. Oops, sorry. So it is going to be 192.168.1.1. I can give an alternate server, DNS server, but now I don't want to give. So let's go back to the server, cpa.cpl. So here we haven't configured this network information SDC LAN. So let's say it's SDC LAN, and then this one is my external network. So I have two networks here. If I am now going to ping 192.168.1.10, it's not pinging because the ping is being blocked. So if I ping 192.168.1.1, again it is not pinging. So because it may be the firewall which is blocking it. So let's go here to firewall. This is not the best practice to do. Actually, you have another task here. If you can see your tasks, it says here modify the firewall rules to allow SMB traffic, which you have to do that uh, to modify the firewall. So now it's just a temporary one for us to do. Just turn off the firewalls, your domains, your private network, and your public network. So you see here, so we switched off the firewall here in this client, and if I'm going to ping, still the ping is not successful here because I have switched off the firewall, turned off the firewall here in this machine, but it goes and reaches the server. The firewall is still blocking it. So from here, if I'm going to ping, then you get it successful because the firewall in 192.168.1.10 is turned off, so you get a reply. But the firewall in 192.168.1.1, which is this server, has not been off. That's why your client can't ping you. So we go back again of the firewall. You can just off the private firewall, then it should also be fine for you. But it's not security. It's not the best practice. But now you could get it. So that's it. With this, we have installed the client and the server. These two things have been done. So let me clear all my scribblings here, and then let's do it proper. Right. So what we have done here is we have this installed and this one installed. Both can talk to each other. They both can ping each other, which means this network is done and dusted. So now let's go to this server, this network, and let's finish off this server at the moment. So just for me to have a speed access, let me shut down this machine. Right, before we shut down this machine, let's go to the system, rename the PC. We haven't renamed this PC. We have done it for the server. It's client S1. So client S1, next. So it asked me to restart. So let me restart it, which means this part is completely done for now. So let's go to this server and we can shut down the server for a moment, for a bit, so that we don't slow this server system process, because a lot of process being used in Windows server. We can also power off this Windows client as well, just after checking if the name is updated. So let's go to the system here, and you could see that it is now client S1. We haven't created any domain, so it's fine. Power off. So this too is done. Let's go back, file, new virtual machine, typical. I'm not going to install now. It's a Linux machine, and it is going to be my Debian. I should be having my Debian here. So it's a 12 Debian. Next, and then let me browse to my documents here and create a new folder. It's C. So okay, then go next. 20 GB is okay. So it is also going to act as a server. Let me give 40 GB here. Customize the hardware. Here you have two adapters for the server. Remember, this one is V0 and this one was V1 and this is V3. So this one should be also in V0 network. So let's go add another network adapter here. So this one is a custom VNet and next one is custom V3. And what I would like to do is add another network adapter, keep it as NAT. I want this to be NAT because I want this to be used for my internet access. Okay, because I'm going to I'm going to install Linux, which means it needs to download a lot of packages for which I need internet. So I have a temporary adapter, which is an NAT, so that I can go to the internet and access the sources. So let me go back to this. I will give 4 gigs for it, and let me give 2 processors, 2 cores for it as well, and let me close it, finish it so that it is also going to act as a server. I don't think I have given the ISO image here, so let's go configure the ISO image. Go back to my documents, my VMs, and my Debian. Okay, and let me power on that. So it's now here. So it is asking for an install. You can either go for a graphical install or a normal install. So I would choose a normal install, which means I can't use mouse and thing. If you want to go for a graphical installation, yeah, you can do that. So English, it's UK, British English, and it would be asking few questions for you to set up your virtual machine. So you have to be very careful when you select some of the informations. So which one is your primary network here? So you have 3 networks here. So let me say with the ENS 35 at the moment. If you want, we can change it back later. ENS 35, I assume that it is the NAT which I have, the NAT that is ENS 35. I assume that it is the case. So here it asks for me the host name. I will just give Debian as my host name. Continue. Domain name, I don't want to give a domain name now because I will do it later, so it's fine. So it asks me to give a root password. This is very important for you. In a Linux, it is like an administrative privileges you have, so make sure that you give your password and you don't forget your password. Continue. Full name is Nitish. Name of the account is Nitish again, and password for the user Nitish is here. It asked me to re-enter the password. I re-enter the password. Do you want to have a guided disk partition? Yes, guided one. This is the partition I have, all in one partition. So here you could see that you have a home partition, home var and temp partitions. You can have it, it's just like categorizing in directories and folders. So for now I will go with all files in one partition and finish the partitions. Do you want to write changes? Yes, I want to write changes. So now the installation will go on. It will take a while, so we will, once the installation is done, we will go on with the other part. So which means here we are at this point, we have created a v0, then we have created a v3. We also have the adapter. Say this is a NAT, so this one we used to connect to the internet. So any packages we want to download, we can download using this this NAT interface. That's what we are trying to do here. So here it asks scanning your installation media. So this is the firmware you have. Do you have any extra installation on board? I would say no at the moment. Do you want to have a network mirror? I would say no. We can add it later. Okay, or if you want to add another installation media, if you have, yes, you can add it. If you want to add a mirror now at the moment, you can add it as well. You want to participate in a survey? No, I wouldn't go. And here, this is the important part here, because we don't want our server to be so our expectation here is, what is expected is the server should be just a CLI, command line interface, and your client could be a GUI, right? So this is the installation where you say I don't want a desktop environment, so which means hit a space, iter space, you are removing genome and Debian desktop info. If you want, you can add a SSH server. I will tell you why I installed server, because Debian I can use SSH server to configure anything inside Debian. So it is really handy for us. So I will go with standard system utilities and SSH server. Let me continue it. So that window is very important when you're doing your Linux. Whereas in your Windows environment, you select the standard desktop experience. That's one thing, and the keyboard is the other thing. These are the two things which is very important for you in your Windows. In Debian, it is this part where you select your desktop experience or not is a matter. So here install the grub root to your primary drive. Yes, I would go for it. You want to say which one is your bootloader. This is my bootloader. The disk which we are saying that like which one should boot first on the startup. So we say that where we are installing our operating system, that would be the booting space, and that's what has to be booted. So now it started installing the VMs. So it could go for a bit. Once the installation is done, then let's continue from here. So here it says that installation is complete, so it is time for you to boot into the new system and continue. It's booting. So I will Debian. Here we go. I think we are almost ready with our Debian. Here we go. We have our Debian server, which is installed, all good to go. So I can go ahead with Tish as a login, and I can go for a password, and here we go. So we are now in Debian. I click IP address. You could see that I have ENS33, ENS34, ENS35. These are the three adapters, and also I have a new MAC address. So the ENS35 is our NAT. You could see that it has an IP address for us, which is already up. But ENS33 and 34, we don't have IP address. So what we have to do is we have to install or configure the IP address here before we go to the client machine. So let's say update. So it says that the permission is denied, which means I want to go as a sudo apt update, which means sudo is a super user, and it says that sudo command is not found, which means I want to first go as a root user here, and then I have to install sudo. So let's go here, apt update. It says that this apt update, please use CD-ROM to make the CD-ROM we used to add new CD-ROMs. So because it is having CMO apt update already in the file. So yeah, the problem here is we can't get some of the configurations because the package within the CD-ROM is not having things to work around. So we have to now update our source list, and then we have to move forward. So let's say install sudo y. press enter. All right, okay, so it says that please insert the disk labeled Debian bookworm firmware in your media CD-ROM, which means it is going to look into the CD which we have booted so that it can get things sorted. Okay, so we have other ways to work around. Let's do it that way.